Hey everybody, I am Katie Evans with the Living 48 Real Estate Team, and we are here for another one of our mortgage minutes. Hopefully you are recognizing this face on the other half of the screen from me. We would like to welcome back Stacy with Guild Mortgage, which we are always glad to have Stacy Williams here with us. He is a phenomenal lender that we love to work with, and so him taking a few minutes out to share some of his expertise with us is always appreciated. So welcome, Stacy.
Katie, thank you. Always love being here.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so Stacy and I have been racking our brains trying to come up with some great ideas to share with you. And of course, we're looking for something kind of out of the box and a little bit different than what we're normally talking about, because right now in today's market, and we are filming this in January of 2021, so we have just come out of 2020, where we have broken all kinds of records in the Arizona real estate market. Mortgage rates have been crazy, crazy low. And the Fed is telling us that they're keeping certain things down low. So we expect the interest rates to continue to stay low, maybe not as low as they are right now, but to stay at these historically low rates for a while yet. And so because of that, we have sort of a perfect storm here in Arizona: low inventory, high demand, increased prices, and our buyers are super struggling to get their contracts accepted. Before we went on air here, Stacy and I were just talking about one of my buyers who is kind of in upper price points right now and squeaky clean, no contingencies, not asking for anything really. Then we've already gotten bid out 3 times, and we're in what, the 3rd week of January already, Stacy? So
Pretty wild, pretty wild.
Nuts. It is so nuts. So we're always looking for things that we can do to give our buyers the leg up. And so Stacy and I today are going to really, really briefly, because this isn't going to apply to everybody, but we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about what is known as an appraisal waiver. Okay. And Stacy has something on his end that maybe can help. And what I've got on my end really has nothing to do with lending, but Stacy has this potentially useful tool to buyers if they can qualify for it and if it's in their best interest. It's not always in your best interest. So of course, when we as a realtor walk in and we look at the houses right now, we're like looking at our buyers going, okay, we're going to be competing against 5 other people. What do you want to do to set your offer apart? And one of the things that we have is that we can waive the appraisal, which basically means that if the house, we put in our purchase, our offer, they accept it. But if the house appraises for, let's just use some numbers. If we put in our offer at $500,000 and the house appraises at like $485,000, I've got a $15,000 delta there, right? That needs to be made up. And when I waive that appraisal in the contract, it says if it doesn't appraise, then the buyer can cancel and get their earnest money back and yada, yada, yada. And, or we can have the seller drop their price to the appraised price, and then we all move forward, and that's fine and dandy. Or we meet somewhere in the middle where the buyer brings in some money and the seller comes down and we meet there. Okay. But basically what we're doing by waiving our appraisal contingency is we're telling the sellers, look, we don't care if it comes in $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 below what we're agreeing to. We have the cash in our bank and we're going to make up the difference because we want the house that bad, right? Well, not everybody has the ability to do that. And so that's a tool we have in our tool chest, but it doesn't always play out. So I discovered that on the lending side, there's something sort of similar to that, but different. So I'm going to have Stacy kind of launch in here and explain to you a little bit what that looks like potentially from the lending side so that you're a little educated on that. So Stacy, go ahead and lay it out there for us.
Okay, I'll do my best. Okay, so first and foremost, as Katie mentioned, it doesn't apply to everybody. For us, it specifically is going to be for conventional financing. So if you're doing VA, FHA, or even a rural housing loan, the appraisal waiver option is not on the table for those borrowers. Now, the appraisal waiver comes into effect based on a bunch of data that the underwriting system stores. So if they have a bunch of data about properties, we can plug in some information. It'll tell us whether the contract price that you're going to pay. So like in Katie's example, if you guys are going in at $500,000, the underwriting system recognizes that $500,000 as being a fair value for the area. they may give us the appraisal waiver, which says basically, hey, we already recognize this home is going to appraise for this amount. Your borrower, as the borrower, they look pretty well qualified. They have a nice size down payment. You do not have to do an appraisal, or your borrower now has the option whether or not they do want to do the appraisal. So if we can get the appraisal waiver, sometimes that's going to give us a higher value than the actual appraisal would. And that's where it comes into play. Do we really want to go through the appraisal process and risk it coming in low? Or are we okay accepting the appraisal waiver, just moving forward and not having to do it? But again, not every deal works. So it's not every conventional loan that we get this appraisal waiver. And actually, I would tell you, because a lot of times we're pushing value up right now, sellers are pushing that value, that we're seeing those appraisal waivers less and less, but we still see them periodically. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So now my understanding is, Stacy, that the lenders, of course, are looking for, they're always looking to protect the asset, right? That they have as collateral against that loan, which is the property itself. And so they are looking to make sure, A, does the house value, do we feel like the house value is really solid here at this price point, such that we feel comfortable saying, yeah, we don't need to send out an appraiser, we don't need to worry about that. And not only are they looking for that, but they're also looking for a really solid buyer, correct?
Correct. I would say a majority of the time when we do receive appraisal waivers, it is a situation where the borrowers are making a larger down payment. Now, the guidelines don't require it to be a large down payment, but when we get the appraisal waiver, it's usually under those situations where the borrower is putting 20, maybe 30% down. Usually they have a pretty strong credit profile as well. So there are some factors that the system is going to take into consideration above and beyond just the value of the home. It's the home, but it's also you as a borrower.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's this nice big picture of the whole big picture, the borrower, the house, everything on the market and everything. So, all right. So you guys, we just wanted to present this as an idea for you. If this is something that you are at all interested in, if you're going in with a with a conventional loan, if you're going in with a conventional financing and you've got a really good credit score and you're putting down a fair amount of money, this might be something that you want to ask your lender about. See if potentially you would have access to that and if it would be in your best interest. It's really nice when I can walk in and say, hey, we've already checked this house with the lender. They've already given us an appraisal waiver, and that gives the seller some real solid peace of mind. It does exactly the same thing as if I was to waive the appraisal on the buyer's side and just promise them that the buyer is going to come up with the money. This is like the best of both worlds for the buyer and the seller if we have this kind of tool for ourselves. So if it's something you're interested in, I would absolutely ask your lender about it. And of course, if you don't have a lender yet, we would highly recommend that you have a conversation with Stacy, because he's just one of the best in the biz here. So Stacy, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
My direct number, 480-454-5625. Again, 480-454-5625 is our number. Email teamwilliams@guildmortgage.net.
Awesome. And of course, if you guys didn't catch any of that, you don't remember, you can always go to our website, and that website is www.living48realestate.com. Go all the way over to the More section, go to preferred vendors, and under there you'll see our favorite lenders, which of course Stacy is absolutely on that list, and you can get all of his contact information there as well. So Stacy, thank you so much for sharing some time with me today. I really appreciate it. You always bring a wealth of knowledge to me and to our clients, and I appreciate having you as a partner on the lending side in this crazy world of real estate right now.
Happy to be involved. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. We hope you got some value, and we will catch you on our next Mortgage Minute segment. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Bye.